Hey guys, I got a small update for today. I think where I'm going with the Rivet Lock Bulko series. This is where the next plan, next design. So as you can see, this is going to be a design that's fully designed for a wrapped handle. We're going to have a couple shoulders here and there, slightly narrower tang so that we can fit the paracord flushly, so that everything is streamlined top and bottom. What does that mean? It means I'm going to have to remove the finger groove from there. It also means that I'm going to have a much smaller washer underneath the rivet for the rivet lock mechanism. Now, when we look at some of these other ones, these were designed primarily to be functional as full steel blades. For skinning, that's nice because in some ways it's actually much easier to wash a full steel knife like this after doing that kind of work. It works very well as a paring knife too. It's very lightweight. In that sense, it's not bulky, it's very streamlined. So that was, that's the main idea with these rivet lock bulkos, is that what are you doing with a knife? Most of the time you're carrying it. Most of the time it's in a place of storage that's on you where you're moving around. You can slip this in, between a couple towels in your bag very easily. It's not obstructive. There's no dramatic lip here on the sheath trying to lock into a handle. Now also the options, the ideal thing with this is that now you have options to put your own wooden scales on there, to put your own paracord wrap on there, and if you even want to, you can even use this as a rat tail. You just fashion a block of wood, put this in, so that it works like a rat tail. So if you wanted to, you could even do or use this as a rat tail. So it gives you every single option that you want to make handles for. Now that's awesome. It's great conceptually, theoretically, and everything like that. But when it comes for me in terms of sales, is it exact? Yes, it's cool. Yes, it makes sense, and it gives me options to make all sorts of handles for it too. For example, the paracord or the scales. For example, here. What's nice about scales like this is that you can have your fingers kind of lock the blade in there. But of course, when it comes to actually carving wood and putting a lot of force on there, you want to be able to choke your hand up really as far as you can go. And at that point, what happens is that the spine of the blade is now exposed, and that kind of digs into your hand. Now that's, a small bit of discomfort is not a big deal. If your main concern is the concealability and the EDC capabilities of the knife, and of course being super strong and robust design. So it's nice that it has all these options, but I think I want to have like a more refined final finished product. That's basically what I'm aiming for with the next upgrade. And what we're going to be doing is, if you look closely again, I'm going to try and make it as streamlined as possible, top and bottom, have the paracord handle, have a smaller rivet lock. We're going to remove the finger choil there, and this will be like a finished series of a knife that is, proprietary in its own sense. Like it's just going to be this. There's also other benefits for me in the sense that I don't have to drill so many holes, because drilling holes, when you have to drill like hundreds of holes, and if you make 20 or 30 of these and you got to drill 5 holes in 3 different sizes in each one. This is a 5mm hole where the rivet lock goes. This is an 8mm hole where the string or the lanyard can go, and these are 4 or 5mm holes. I don't remember. That's a lot of different holes to drill, and it's and I like to keep things affordable. I like to keep things like price. I like my knives to be. I like the price of my knives to be like attractive, and like I think, yeah, this will be like a $90 knife. But and these are like $60, right? But it's not really worth my time when I have to drill all those holes, and I like to also do all the stamping on there with the date and the date and the series and the serial number. I really like that. I like to kind of do that on each one of these, and there's a lot of these extra little steps that I do out of comfort because I enjoy what I do, that doesn't reflect on the final price because they don't really add like, they're more like added value for me rather than the customer. I mean, some people do appreciate that, but yeah. So, you know, this is what one of those rivet lock bolt goes with a grip looks like, which is sick. I mean, this is awesome. And it feels very good in the hand. Definitely more like combative. And it's still extremely streamlined with the paracord. Very streamlined still. So this is like the ideal kind of stage for it. Now, I made it possible to do scales on there, which is fine. And especially if you keep the wood and the stuff flush. But you're forced to do this kind of pins on this as well, because the contour of the tang and the way it's shaped, it's pretty much flat, but the pins force the wood to mash against the wood, against the tang, like 100%, so that it's completely flush. If you just glued it on with some random pins that are non-protruding and non-peened, you might not get the most perfect fit. The nice thing with the lanyard hole, but you really need a lanyard hole for a knife like this. You can't chop with it. You know, the handle could be a little bit longer too in that sense. So there's a lot of, you know, these are awesome options to have on a knife that's full steel, that's available in Forge and all that on a website. You know, you can decide for yourself, hey, you know what, I'm going to learn to do, I'm going to learn to wrap my handles on this. And the great thing is you can do it safely because the sheath is there. You're not going to cut yourself. So you can play around all day doing all sorts of different types of handle designs. You know, rat tail. You can use this as a rat tail. Chisel out the inside of a piece of wood and fit it in just like a katana handle, and then you got a pin location. That's it, done, boom. So you can even make a rat tail out of this. It's just, for me personally, as nice as these are, the whole point of these was that they're full steel, and that there's options to improve on it if you want to, but it's keyword there is improve, right? Not perfect. And I think after making all these, and they're nice as they are, I think I would like to try doing this so that everything is much more streamlined. It'll also be a bit safer in some aspects, and just a like overall, how do you say, like an actual finished knife design product that has a handle on it. So nothing like, you know, nothing super special. It does take a long time to do the paracord wraps on these, but again, like, I'd like to go for a design that's like fully ready, right? So you don't have to think about what you want to do with it as well. I'm putting these up on the website today. And what else? I mean, I guess. So this is kind of like roughly what I'm going for right there. And yeah, that's the thing is, if I do those shoulders, right, to keep the spine and the belly flush with the paracord and the spine and the belly of the knife, it's no longer really a usable full steel blade. It's no longer, it looks like an unfinished knife, so I can't sell it as a full steel product, unlike the other ones. So again, I'm always experimenting, I'm always playing around with different ideas, and I'm always trying to like perfect things. And I think the next step to test out is to test that out, because I think it'll look nicer when it's finished, and then it's going to be like an actual finished knife, you know. And a lot of people, they don't want full steel. You know, I'm not going to make 1,000 of these because I think it's a cool idea. I'm going to make 20 of them, see how people like it, do they appreciate it. But while those 20 are being sold and being used and all that, I'm going to test some other stuff out on the same series to see if it's actually better, say another 20 or so, and then see from there what the same customers who bought both knives, what they think, you know, what new customers are thinking, yada yada yada. and just kind of go with that and see ultimately what is the best thing to do and what's the smartest approach to focus on and stay on and be consistent at. Because at the end of the day, once all the testing is done, the idea is to stick with one design that you reproduce 1,000 times. And then if somebody's like, hey, do you have any more of these? Can you make one of these? I really liked it. Then I can do that too. But it's just so much easier for me. And actually, it's much easier in many other aspects too. It's easier in every single aspect to just stick with one design and produce it. Now, I mentioned in the previous video that at some point I think it'll be really smart of me to make like a production version that's plasma cut. So I just get a box, a stack of ready cut, plasma cut, laser cut, water cut, whatever blanks that I just mass produce, really. And then those will be like the affordable model. And I think most people would buy that without really knowing how much stronger the spring steel version is. It'll look cleaner because it's stock removal, and stock removal generally always looks a lot cleaner. So yeah, what more is there to say? I'll catch you guys later.